All right, I think we're good to go. So, guys, welcome to our first session of a new series called OMM Finance Tutorials. I have with me our resident OMM Finance guru, Stephen, who will be taking you through a step-by-step manner on the key elements and processes in OMM Finance. In today's tutorial, we hope to cover the areas on the OMM Airdrip and the Airdrop, the OMM Token Distribution, guarded launch, stablecoins, the difference between the two stablecoins in OMM, which is USDS and IUSDC, the different types of risks a user is exposed to when depositing assets in OMM. And at the end, we obviously open questions to the floor with any questions they have. And also, Stephen will be talking about the different processes, in terms of, looking at Stably, looking at the Orbit Bridge, all the integrations of OMM. He'll be also looking a bit on Balanced as well. So everyone gets an idea of how to use OMM right from the start. Obviously, we have a lot of things to go through. So if anyone has any questions or anything specific to the topics that Stephen is talking about, please leave it to the end, because we want to use this session for people to kind of also use it for their reference and use it for their learning and also for practical use of OMM. So with that being said, Stephen, thank you very much for joining the series and being a part of it and sharing your expertise.
You're welcome.
I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, thank you. All right, welcome everyone. I will first be sharing my screen. I think it should now already be done.
Yep.
Can everyone see my screen? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the purpose of today is I will be sharing the most asked questions within our OMM Discord community and the respective answers to them. To kick off, I would like to shout out to the docs.om.finance website, which I'm showing here at the moment. Most answers to questions can be found here. The search function also works specifically well, but your first instinct should always be to go check this resource first, and if you find an answer, if you can't find an answer here, let us know on Discord. It will also help us to make it a better resource. So to show even the search function, for example, you can type just a few letters and it already gives you all the different type of topics that it might relate to. So let's kick it off with the OMM token distribution. As you can see here, the moment we are within the first 30 days, so there is 1 million OMM distributed per day. As from the second month of operation, it will already decline to 400k per day. And then it's a yearly drop, and then every year there is a drop with 100k per day. And after 5 years, from the 5th year, it's just 3% token inflation. And what you also can see here is how the tokens are allocated. So percentage-wise, you can see that 40% is going to the DAO fund, 30% is going to the OMM worker tokens. Some people have also asked, what is this worker tokens? These are the team tokens. So these 30% is given to the team through worker tokens. Different team members can share the worker tokens among themselves. When new builders join, these will be distributed among each other for a fair distribution within the team as well. Then the liquidity pools get 15%, 5% each. In the markets, 10%. You see also a difference between the supply side and the borrow side. And 5% is reserved for OMM staking. Now that we have gone through the distribution, there were also some questions within the community regarding the guarded launch. which meant, in short, the first day of OM rewards, there could not be any OM earned, and they were only being distributed as from day 8. So going into detail on that one, the first 2 days of OM operation, there were no OM distributed at all. This was done so there would not be a rush, no time zone benefits for people to be first, so everyone had an equal chance to be early in earning OM. As from day 3 till day 7, the OM rewards for lending and borrowing markets, the worker tokens and the DAO funds, they were not yet distributed, but they were accruing. And also, within day 3 and 7, the rewards that were normally meant for liquidity pools and OM staking, which were not possible yet because there was no OM trading yet and it was not distributed yet, those were reserved specifically for the airdrop. So this is also a question that we received many times. People did not understand with no pre-mine how the airdrop could be financed. Well, it came from the early days of distribution of the liquidity pools and the OM staking, which were not possible at that time. And then as from day 8, which is yesterday, the 31st of August, the first OM was distributed. So that briefly should explain the guarded launch and where the airdrop was financed from. So making the bridge to the airdrop. So this is the airdrop page. And as you can see, we have different type of airdrops. I think most people will already know what those exactly are and what you need to do to qualify. The qualifications, they were in the past, so there is no way to qualify anymore for the initial qualifications. They had to be done before July the 31st, so you either qualify or you don't. And then there is a second set of qualifications, which is tasks that need to be done in order to claim them effectively. And those are mentioned here, how to unlock them every time. This is again by doing an interaction on the OM forum. Now, there was some issues with claiming for the people that are using Ledger. There currently still is not yet a solution for people claiming them with Ledger because there is an error when people try to sign. So the team is still looking into that, but in the meantime, they have already made a workaround and they shared it on Twitter, which is what I will show here. So this is the tweet they sent out. If you missed it, you can go to the OM Twitter and you will easily find it. It was sent out yesterday. And there is a form, a Google form, in which Ledger users can just mention their address. Nothing more, just the address, send it, and the team will make sure that the tokens, if you qualify, of course, end up in your wallet. Just make sure you go check here whether you're eligible. Then only fill in your address, and then you don't have to claim yourself. The team will do it for you. This probably will stop when they have a fix for it. So keep an eye out on Twitter as well. So then the next one is the airdrip. And the difference between the airdrop and the airdrip, and also where the allocation for the airdrip comes from. So the airdrip, some might already know, they're from the balanced token, the BALN airdrip. This is something that can be claimed weekly, but this is only the people that are eligible or the people that are staking SICX themselves in their wallets. So if you have ICX or SICX on OM or on balanced, you cannot claim the airdrip. So the airdrip is just for people who have ICX outside of the apps and have it staked. Also, IconFi supports it, so IconFi users they will also be receiving it in their IconFi app. Of course, we do recommend using the platforms instead of just claiming the airdrips, because the rewards for using the platform are much, much higher. But it is a way for people to get acquainted and hopefully start using the platforms after they have claimed some. Also, the allocation, an important one, because again, there is no pre-mine of OM, so people often ask the question, how is this financed and this airdrip? The same way like it is with Balanced, it is the Icon Foundation who is sponsoring this. So they are using their assets from their treasury to mine OM token on the platform, and they reserve whatever they mine for the airdrip, and they make it claimable via this website. Again, there will be a button here in which you can check the eligibility of your wallet, and then you will be able to claim it. This is also the reason, like we know from the balanced airdrip, that the amount is never exactly a fixed amount, never every week the same. Because it's based on what they can mine, and this, of course, can fluctuate. Then the next topic is how, let's see, Bridge. Maybe I first cover the differences of stablecoins before I move to the Bridge topic. So we have three different stablecoins. We have BNUSD, we have USDS, and IUSDC. Some people have asked the question, why are there three? Isn't it confusing? Isn't it better to have just one? Well, each one has their own benefits of having them within our ecosystem, and this is what I will go into deeper at the moment. So BNUSD at the moment is solely ICX collateral-backed stablecoin, which can be minted on Balanced. We know that more collateral options will follow, but the majority will remain ICX. Scott has mentioned he wants to make BNUSD the most diverse crypto asset-backed stablecoin, and new collateral options will have a max cap, however, to keep it mostly ICX-backed, also to mitigate the risk. And the benefit of BNUSD is that it can give you leverage on your crypto assets, but the negative is that you have to over-collateralize it, and you pay 1% origination fee. So 1% origination fee means that it is probably best used for long-term loans, and short-term loans is best to use OM. Then the next stablecoin is USDS, which is a USD-backed stablecoin issued by Stably, and it's compatible with the Bridgepay wallet, which is the website that I've opened at the moment, for easy on and off ramp to a USD bank account. Other currencies can also be used, but your bank will need to convert it to USD. Hence, you will be subjected to an exchange rate fee. Keep that in mind.
I'm sorry, Steven?
Yes.
Hi. I guess the origination fee on BNUSD is a little bit high now.
Yeah, sorry, I said 1, but it was recently changed. It was changed to 1.15%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. Thanks for pointing out. Then the next one is IUSDC. This is Ethereum-based USDC wrapped on Icon through the use of Orbit Bridge. Keep in mind, however, that the ETH fees are quite high at the moment. So it's always useful to keep that in mind. So the Bridgepay, I don't have an account myself because I used the Stably website directly. what is the benefit of Bridgepay? It is mostly used to attract non-crypto users. It makes it quite easy for them to move money between a US bank account or just a bank account, not specifically a US bank account, and a crypto wallet. So what you can make via your email, you can make an account connected to your bank account, and Bridge will make an ICX address in which your USDS will be deposited. What I found, a bit confusing also, those were questions raised by people in our chat as well, is Bridge, they make a new wallet for you. So if you already have a DeFi wallet, for example, you cannot have it added to Bridge. So Bridge adds a wallet for you, a wallet address, sorry. And so if you have another address that you want to use, then you will have to send it from the one that Bridge created for you, and then send it to the one that you intend to use. For example, if you're also a balanced user, if you want to have it in the same address, then you will have to make a transaction. Also, one of the benefits is that Bridge uses fee share. So this means that you do not have to have ICX as gas in your in the wallet. So that's the Bridge topic. Then you also have Stably, and Stably is actually even if you work with Bridge, Stably is the company who is doing the backing of the USD with the stablecoin. What I did myself is I created a Stably account before Bridge was available, and you can still do it this way. So when you log into your account, you will see that you can add several assets. USDS is the one that we're interested in today. You can see my recent transactions here. And if you deposit an amount in here, then you will from your bank account, and you will see a balance. If you then want to mint it on in your Icon wallet, then you choose withdraw. Here you have two options: stablecoins and bank accounts. Bank accounts is if you want to do the reversed option. If you have deposited it back in here and you want to bring it back to your bank account, then you choose bank account, of course. Now we are trying to mint on chain, so then you press this. ZUSDC is for other blockchains; it's not Icon. So you choose USDS, and then you go. This is my address. This is then the address that you have available, and you can deposit it onto Icon. That's how it works. So it's quite easy to use. Also, some people have tried swapping other assets, because you can swap BTC and Ethereum to USDS on the Stably website by the trade function. Then you select BTC. You enter the amount. You can only enter the amount after you have deposited it, and then you have to request a quote. So you can't see immediately what it will be, but you will be receiving a quote. So for people who want to try this, so this is how the Stably one works. And like I said, the USDC converted to IUSDC, you can go through Orbit Bridge. The first thing that you see when you open the website is some information regarding taxes and bridging fees. So it's quite useful to first read this, so you know what to expect. You know that, for example, let's keep it focused on the USDC option. It's an Ethereum chain asset. The from asset is Ethereum, so there is a tax to be paid, and the tax is 0.1% in the native chain fee. If you want to go the other direction, and if you have IUSDC and you want to go back, then you have this. Then the from chain will be Icon, and then there is a tax and a bridging fee. So the bridge fee is 10 ICX in this case, and then the same type of tax that applies. So there is an issue at the moment with Orbit Bridge. It's known, it's not really connecting to wallets, but I will go as far as I can to show how it works. So you select coin. So we are interested in USDC. Then in the validator group, there is only one to choose from for USDC, and you see icon mentioned here. So you check OK. And this is how far it goes at the moment. Normally, it would be connecting to my MetaMask wallet, but the connection at the moment isn't working. And then you can here enter the amount that you want to do. Here you select the icon chain. You will already see how much you will be getting minus the fees. And then here, this would be the place where you place your ICX address, destination address, and it just converts. So it's as easy as that. So also what I forgot to mention earlier, maybe might be interested, USDS is an asset that is minted on both Ethereum, Tezos, Binance Smart Chain, Stellar, Digital Bits, and Icon. So make sure that you mint it on the correct chain. It's quite important, of course. Now let's go to the different OMM incentivized LP pairs, which were launched on Balanced recently. I am not logged in here, but we can see here the different options. So we have OMM SICX, OMM IUSDC, and OMM USDS. Those are the three that were added yesterday. Scott mentioned that they might be creating a multi-swap. I don't know whether it's the correct terminology, but it's just meaning, for example, that they might create a pair USDS to IUSDC directly, but it will be working via these two pairs. Just the swap to OMM will happen in the background. So, of course, the fees of the two moves will also be there. So the fees might be a little bit higher than what you're used to with the direct pair, but at least it can be done in a single transaction then. What was also launched yesterday is the IUSDC and the BNUSD pair. At the moment, this is still an unincentivized pair. So this means there is no BELN or no OMM rewards that are being used as incentives. And it shows because the liquidity in those pairs at the moment is quite low. And you see that if you want to swap your BNUSD to your IUSDC, you lose a lot USD value when trying to do that now, especially when you try to do it with higher amounts. So double check before you confirm anything that you don't get a hangover from doing that swap. But it was a good pair, of course, because it does provide BNUSD holders who are currently sitting on their BNUSD just to mine BAL a way to earn interest by swapping it to IUSDC, bringing it over to OMM, and then you still have some interest and you can mine OMM. So it is actually a very interesting pair. But at the moment, not being incentivized doesn't really make it an interesting one at the moment, in my opinion. So talking about supplying liquidity. So when you're supplying liquidity in these three pairs, you earn LP tokens. Those LP tokens you cannot see on chain. You will not see it in your wallet address when you go to the icon tracker. But and this is also important, do not forget, do not just supply here. Before you start earning OMM tokens, you have to go to OMM. For this use case, I am on the testnet. You have to go to the rewards page. Then here, liquidity pools, you have to open the ones that you're supplying for. And then you will see here stake LP tokens. Here you will have to stake them. Yeah, I was signed in earlier, but I had to reset today. Then the amount of LP tokens will be shown here. And again, like anything else, like staking, for example, you have a slider and you slide them to the top of to the max that you want to stake, and then only then, as from then, you will be earning OM for providing liquidity. So do not forget to stake your LP tokens. Let me see what's next. Yeah, I also want to show here on the front page another one of the questions that was asked is people are asking how can I see or where can I see my staking rewards? Some people are also confused with the SICX balance. So both staking, no, it's not handy. Let me quickly sign into my testnet wallet. Right, so okay, so what you can see here is the amount supplied, ICX, borrowed. Whenever both your interest that you earn and your staking rewards will be reflected here. So it will be increasing your supply. So both staking and interest. The borrowed amount, the interest will be added here. So this is where you can see the increase of your borrowed amount and the increase of your supplied amount. Here you can toggle between the ICX view or the SICX view. So what you can see here, this will increase with interest, but this will not increase with staking rewards. Some people have also asked the question, and this is because I believe that they do not understand how the SICX token works. They expect their SICX to increase by staking. But of course, SICX, I'm not going to go into detail, SICX gives you, it represents the share that you have in the staking pool. So it doesn't increase. But your ICX will increase, of course, that it represents. For people who are interested in learning how SICX works, there is a good article written by Balanced on their Medium page. If you just Google it, Balanced, what is SICX, you will find it easily. And this goes into detail how the pool works. So this is interesting for the people who are still not sure how SICX works. Also, one of the questions is that people are asking is when do I get my interest? When do I get my staking rewards? When do I get my OMM tokens? All questions are the same. It's done every block. So it's not on a daily. It's not daily on a fixed time. It's done on block basis. The next topic is the various risks. There are also some questions asked regarding impermanent loss and liquidation. So again, I will not be going into details of definitions. There are many well-written explanations of both, and you can Google them easily. For impermanent loss, for example, you can. I would refer also to the Balanced Academy, which gives a video explanation and a very detailed explanation with examples. So you can go there as well. But what you need to know is that impermanent loss only happens when you provide liquidity in the pairs on Balanced. Impermanent loss is not something that you can have by borrowing or supplying assets. Then liquidation, of course, is something that can happen when you are borrowing, when your risks increase, and you go to and this is mentioned. This is shown here. Your risk rate, as you can see, when you are liquidated, and liquidation can happen when you're. And the question that people were asking was, can liquidation happen when you're lending and borrowing stablecoins or the same asset? So the question, the reason why they are asking this is the same asset is the strategy some people have is to borrow and lend the same asset and have the interest rate balance and cancel each other out, just to mine OMM tokens as efficiently as possible. So, well, my question, the answer here is yes. In theory, you can still get liquidated, and only if the interest rate of your borrowing asset increases higher than the interest rate of your supplying assets. Then you will start taking on debt, and then you can suffer liquidation. Now, the question that I wanted to ask to DK today also, so maybe he can answer this in the end, is whether the delta between interest rates for borrowing and for supplying, at the moment it seems to be remaining the same. But can the team decide to change it, for example, the borrow interest, or does it need to be done by a vote? So I'm sharing my screen, so I don't know whether DK is in the room. If you would like to answer that.
Yeah, DK is there. I can I think he can answer at the end, maybe.
At the end, yeah, it's fine. And then the risk of liquidation, keep in mind, of course, can be high when you use your ICX as collateral and you borrow a stablecoin. So whenever the ICX price drops, there is a risk of liquidation. So keep that in mind. So I think I covered most of the topics that I wanted to cover. Just one more thing that pops right in my mind now that I'm looking at this is also a question here. What does this do? It just shows the difference with your API, inclusive the OMM rewards and exclusive. So that's all it does.
And I think another question I think that popped up, Stephen, is when you mentioned about the LP tokens. Some people kind of confused why the total balance, once you stake the LP tokens on OMM, why the corresponding balance doesn't show on balanced, if that makes sense. So basically, by design, once you stake the LP tokens, that portion of it doesn't get reflected in the balance. If you open up balanced, it doesn't really show up. So I think there was a bit of confusion on that front as well.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, once you stake them here, indeed, then it seems like they're no longer on the
actually, man,
website. Yeah.
They're doing a tutorial now live for the new platform on Discord. They're doing this.
Oh, they're showing.
Yeah, like they're doing one a day. It's really cool. Like you just log in and listen.
Yeah. Sorry, Jan, you're live. You. Maybe if you guys want to ask a question, you can go ahead.
Yeah, indeed. I covered all the topics of the questions, of all the most asked questions. So we have covered them now. Like Arash made the recording, so you can point people towards that afterwards. Yeah. But if you have any more questions, then now is the time to ask. I will stop sharing my screen so I can have a look at who's in the room.
So yeah, maybe
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe DK. I think there was a question for DK. I think DK, are you there?
Yeah. Up here. What's up?
Hey, hi, Deki. Yeah. The question that I had myself earlier is the delta between the interest for borrowing and lending. Mm-hmm. At the moment, it seems to be moving in the same way. So the delta seems to be remaining the same. So whenever the borrow interest goes up, the supply interest goes up equally, it seems. Is there a way that this could change let's say by team decision, that the borrow interest increases and the supply doesn't, or is this only being done through votes? What is your opinion on this one?
I think that's something that can be changed by a vote. But before like proposing any change, like that's by design how it's done. So like typically the way money market works is that, as like the reason why supply, interest rate, and borrow rate changes is like, for example, that's happening with USDS right now, and the supply and borrow rate is really high because there's a lot of people borrowing when there's like set up amount of supply. So if both supply and borrow rate goes up, what that means is that high supply rate encourages people to supply more USDS, and then high borrow rate actually should encourage people to actually pay back their USDS because interest rate is so high. So I mean, it does have a purpose. So I think it should be possible to change through governance vote, but I would say like just think about like why it's designed that way. I think that like the specific number can change, but that's the purpose behind the design. Right now, I think the way it's designed is so that basically of the total amount of interest that are being paid by borrowers, 90% goes to the suppliers and 10% go to the DAO fund equivalent for own protocol.
So if I understand correct, and this is important for people who just want to balance the two, is the delta will always remain the same, and this is what it currently is.
Right now it is, yes.
Yeah. So okay, so they do not have to worry that the borrow will increase, and then they, without knowing, they will start taking on debt, and then and they could be eventually liquidated if they lost track, for example. So that's no worry. Then if you balance it out from the beginning, there is no worry that you can start taking on debt.
Well, technically though, right? Depending on how many people, how much is being borrowed, how much is supplied, I think the delta can change. Yeah, based on the utilization rate, the interest rate delta can change.
It can. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it should understand like the way it works is actually it's based on the actual interest paid, not based on the interest rates.
Okay. All right. Then then people still need to check in from time to time that the delta doesn't. If they just want to mine OMM, and they. It's always useful, of course, to check in from time to time, but especially knowing that the delta can change. Okay, right. Good to know.
Yep.
But it's always going to be tied to certain degrees. It's not always going to be the same delta, though. That's very important.
Okay, good. Thanks for answering.
Any other questions? I'm sure you guys have loads of questions because it's quite inundated on the Discord channel.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Hey, I don't really have much of a question, but I would like to get a comment, and I definitely love the live updates on the rewards, and I hope that continues.
Oh, the block rewards.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because I think that helps present the supply shock of if you receive them at a specific time and then people move them around. I think that's very helpful to have the live updates so you can go in them and collect them at your time and distribute them among the applications the way you feel. I think that's very good. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks. Yep, we're trying to convince the house to do the same.
And it's also pretty addictive watching it. It probably encourages people to just stay on the website.
Yep.
Any other questions? Poopster, are you good? I think he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
you have any questions?
Apologies, I was having issues. No. I don't have any questions right now. Thank you.
One more thing that I want to mention, because I forgot to mention it earlier, is for the airdrop I didn't mention that the Aave and Compound airdrop has been claimed. So Poopster has been mentioning it a lot in the chat room. I have seen. So the 1,600 claims, they have all been consumed. So no use in trying to claim those anymore.
Yep. Yeah, no, and also I think there were some concerns, questions on the ICX, SICX.
Sorry, just one quick question. The airdrop on the front end, I mean, it should show that all 600 is claimed on the airdrop page on the front end right now. That's been updated since.
Yeah, it's showing.
Several hours ago. So yeah.
Yep. And also DK, I think some people were confused on the ICX SICX pool on balance because some were expecting to be eligible by providing liquidity on balance at that time.
Right. No, so that's we got the list from other party basically, and it didn't include the I6 SICX pair because the way LP works is different.
Okay.
So we're talking about what to do for those folks, but right now they're not eligible. Yes.
Okay.
Just because the way it's designed, it's different, and then typically the way people query it, I guess it doesn't come up. So we got a list from third party. Yeah.
Brilliant. Any other questions, guys? I'm surprised there's not many questions because I swear if I go to the Discord channel, there'll be loads of questions.
Well, maybe I still have a question for DK. We have seen now that there is one of the pairs that has been added is unincentivized. It's the BN USD to IUSDC. And we are seeing it struggle with liquidity, which is understandable, of course, because there is so many good opportunities for LP providers in other pairs that at the moment it's struggling. Do you know, is there any talks between you and Scott of making a change there? In my opinion, it should not be OMM incentivized because I think there is already the additional benefit for OMM might not be okay. There is a huge supply already of IUSDC. The more the better, of course, because then more fees also for the platform. But I think the biggest benefit would be for balanced holders, because then the people sitting on BNUSD have a way of earning interest on it. So in my opinion, it should be BALN incentivized.
Yes, I think actually the governance around that is happening right now, of potentially adding reward for BNUSD and IUSDC on the balance.
It's, indeed, it's one of the it's mentioned in the So this there is no. It's already considered as decision has been made. If it happens, it should be BALN and not okay, true.
Yep.
Hey, gents. Hey, question on that topic. This may be an unpopular opinion, but in my opinion, I don't think that liquidity pool should be incentivized as we develop more use case for that pairing. 50% of the transaction fees is actually a pretty good reward, in my opinion. It's just that liquidity pair is so new that that you won't see the big flashy rewards that you get right now from other pairings. But honestly, I think the 50% rewards of transaction fees is actually a pretty good deal on that liquidity pool.
Can I ask, what is the current rewards epic? And how long does it last before we, I guess, review it and maybe make any changes if necessary?
I don't know who you're asking the question. I don't think there's any rewards right now.
Yeah,
you're just basically part of the transaction fees.
Yeah, that's
I mean the emission. The emissions that we're allocating to the pairs on balance, I guess, is what I'm referring to.
Okay. The OMM pools, you mean?
Correct. What's our current rewards epic as far as like how long does it?
5%, I think, equally.
Okay, but I guess what I'm asking is how long are we locked into this for? Is this just until we decide to change it, or is it a 3-month? Like, how often will this be reviewed and like changes be made to emissions if they need to be directed elsewhere?
I think it depends on the votes.
Yep, bring out with the governance. Yep.
DK, is any changes to that scheduled before going to votes, or is everything set until we are able to have the vote function?
Well, that's up to the community to decide.
Stephen, one more thing. Did we cover the why the USDC, the IUSDC, and USDS OMM pairing? There's price differences.
Yeah. No, we didn't cover it. No. That's indeed a question that was also raised. Both are stablecoins. Why is the price for OMM more expensive in what was it in USDS than in IUSDC? It's simply just a question of currently they're working as a separate supply and demand function. So USDS has a higher demand because it gives such a high interest when supplying on OMM that you get less for it if you swap your own for it. So it's just supply and demand.
Okay,
that's it. It's also the reason why there is such a difference when you try to swap BNUSD to IUSDC at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Right. So if there's no more questions, we can probably wrap up.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep.
It's about BTP and OMM. Maybe one for DK. What are your expectations? How many months are we away from other pairings, BTP pairings?
Yes, I think adding new markets to OMM will be very exciting, obviously, right? So I think hope to start with some of the assets in the Icon ecosystem, and then I think once BTP is live, it'll be good to add more assets. Although, I mean, I'll just make like a proposal as one of the community members when BTP goes live. But I think it'd be interesting personally to see if we start adding assets that are not supported on other ecosystems, right? So, for example, if you look at let's say Binance ecosystem, right? There is already a lending protocol called Venus there, which is already pretty big. So instead of focusing on adding something like BNB, for example, which is already supported on Venus, maybe it'd be good to see if we can do some, community members can do some business development with some of these specific Binance ecosystem projects. And then if they think it's promising and going to have a lot of potential later down the road, like add those kind of assets that are not currently added. I mean, other protocol can be something like Near. I don't think they have their own money market. So adding adding their assets as like a potential collateral, I think can be pretty interesting as well. But overall, I guess what I'm saying is I think it'd be interesting to add assets, but not any assets because it can get pretty cluttered. And just to keep in mind, we can't just add like 50, 100 assets because these lending protocols, it's only as strong as the number of assets or the kind of assets that are added to the market. Once you actually start adding some, assets that's, pretty volatile and, potentially is unpredictable, it may actually screw up the entire money market because it's all interconnected. So I'll say we do have to be careful about which asset to add, but I think it's also not a bad idea to probably focus on assets that are not currently supported by the money market protocols because there's actually a need for that right now, right? I think the reason why OMM is getting decent traction right now is because right now there is really no lending protocol that's using ICX, and a lot of ICX holders want to utilize their ICX to borrow stables, which is fair. And I think it'd be good if OMM provides that opportunity for other assets as well.
Awesome. Thanks for your answer. I see that you are looking for the niche in the market, but is it also another thing that we have low fees, high speed?
Yeah.
Maybe that's also interesting for bigger chains like listings like BNB.
I think something like a Binance ecosystem already has a pretty cheap fee, to my understanding, right? And it's like relatively fast. I don't know the latest. I haven't touched it lately, but that's my understanding. So,
I see. Thank you very much.
Yep. But I think just going back to what I was saying, I think I hope that OMM community really works on something that can solve problems. And I think solving problem here with the money market is, basically enabling people to collateralize assets that are currently not available. That was the case for ICO community. And then I feel like we'll tap onto other communities that are probably feeling the same thing. Like ICO community hasn't been able to use lending protocols for past 3 or 4 years. I'm sure there's a bunch of other protocols that are in the same boat, right? So hopefully with BTP, as we connect with more protocols, I think that can be a potential strategy as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Looking forward to see what BTP really provides synergies for, I think, all the dApps on Icon.
Yep, indeed.
If there's any other questions, I think we can wrap up. Stephen, thank you very much for the informative session. I'm sure the team and the community members who joined today have learned a lot. Remember, guys, I will be sharing this over the next couple of days, this recording. So be sure to, if you miss parts of it, be sure to recap, and you can always refer the videos. So thanks again, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks, DK, for coming on. I'm sure you were really busy and tired. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Take care.
Take care.